Hello. Good morning, you guys. Good morning. Let me fix my camera here real quick. Let me hit on Instagram. We are going live today with no makeup, you guys, because I didn't have time. Nor did I feel like I needed to. Okay, so here's the thing. Raw, real, like authentic, that's who I am. And I was going to schedule this live. I was going to like make it all nice in this. Let me see if I can even fix the camera just a little bit. Sorry. Hopefully I feel like it's too tall. There you go. Is that better? So so I've been trying to do this live video and stuff and I'm going to continue doing it because I feel like it's really important to cut through some of the noise with some realness, through some of the AI things with some realness, some actual talk from someone that has healed, that has been going through the trenches of building an online business and creating a life. If you know me a little bit, you know that I don't talk only business, right? I'm not your business coach. I'm not your business mentor, even though I do train people on how to create sales and how to be your authentic you. It's because, and if you're new to me, maybe I'm going to explain for just a little bit before I dive into the pattern that I want to talk about today. But the thing that got everything started for me was basically, there's a lot of different things if I think about it now, but the main thing was when I first started, I was already not feeling super safe in my environment, right? I knew my marriage was on the way out. I knew it was just me. I was a stay-at-home mom. I had a career before, but at that time when I first started being in an online business, I didn't really have means of income. I depended on my husband at that time, and I did not like that feeling. I did not like being dependent because it was triggering, and I wasn't aware at that time, but it was triggering me quite a bit on feeling dependent as a child, right? Feeling not safe as a child. And there's a lot of things that came about. There's a lot of growth that has happened over the years, and that's why I decided I'm just going to keep making live videos now and posting and drawing and sharing my story, because I know there's so many of you guys that are in that situation, that have been in that situation, that are signing on for an online business of some sort because of various reasons. You need income. Maybe you need to pay for Christmas presents for your children. Maybe you need to pay off debt, credit card debt, right? Debt accumulates so fast before you even knowing it. Maybe you need to catch up with your retirement funds. Maybe you just have to try to find yourself again. Maybe you just have you feel lost and depressed and anxious, and you don't really know where you want to go with your life. And it's feeling very attractive when you are part of these communities, when you're part of something that you get basically drawn into, and it's shiny and it's exciting, and there's people that seem to care and then they don't, and like there's a whole lot. And then there's some people that are really caring, right? And you find out so much about you when you start with online businesses. And for some, it works out really great, and for some others, it doesn't. And for me, I have to say it works out really great, and I do continue to thrive in it. But the very first few years, I didn't have much success, and it was because I needed to heal. And that is where slowly, like, awareness came about, and it got catapulted with my mom's death from cancer, and seeing all the regrets that came with her not living the life, right? And I started reflecting on my life, and I started thinking to myself, like, wait a minute, am I living a life that I am okay to die with? Am I living a life that is okay? And I started reflecting on my marriage, and I'm like, no, I'm not. This is not how I want my life to be. Then I looked at my children and my family, and I'm like, wait a minute, where am I in this mess, right? I was such a people pleaser. I was doing things for other people. I was all over the place. I was helping even though I was exhausted. I was overextending myself even though I was so tired. There were times that I took care of of people with my baby on my back and my two toddlers running around. And I'm like, I'm looking back at some of these situations now, and I'm thinking to myself, how the heck did I even do that? How did I do it? But I tell you one thing, it was survival. Actually, it was survival. Something inside of me told me I needed to keep going. Because if I wasn't going to, and I'm going to get very vulnerable with you guys here for a second, if I wasn't going to keep going, I was going to die. That was it. I mean, growing up, there were many situations where I actually had thought, why am I doing this? Why am I in this life? Right. And I don't know. I mean, but that was growing up through a lot of different traumas, which at that time also I didn't understand, why was I having to deal with all these things? Why did I have so much abandonment? Why did I have so much friction in life? Why does my life never really seem to pan out when everybody else seems to be thriving? And I was just like, wait, maybe there were periods in time where I thought to myself, like, maybe I'm not meant to do this. Maybe I'm not meant to be here in this life. But you know what I realized is God was just pressuring me. God was giving me opportunities to grow, to hone my crafts of resiliency and perseverance. And the best things are being built in the dark, right? And I realized that I needed to heal. I realized that I needed to learn to love myself, to be there, to be my own best friend. I had to learn how to find my voice, how to have convictions, how to do the things myself, because it's easy to copy, right? Everyone can copy everybody else. It's really hard to become you, to walk it free, to have the courage to stand here on the internet in public on multiple different platforms and speak with no makeup, no filter, no nothing, right? It takes time to accomplish skills, right? So you start with mindset, and then you have a skill set that you have to acquire, and then from there you are going to take action. And I feel like when you first start a network marketing job or an online job or your sales job, you're in realty, or you're selling insurance, or you're selling things on Etsy, or you are a craft person, or you are in network marketing, or you are an affiliate marketer, high ticket sales, you call it whatever you want. You have an online business, right? You do this because you want something back and you feel like this is your opportunity to do it. But then you find yourself not being able to do it. And it's because you have to determine, where are you at? Where are you starting? Where are you at with your own personal growth, right? Where are you at with your own situation, your environment, your life, your marriage, your family, like the friends you have, the community you're hanging out with, like how are you, your job, your boss, what is this environment like? Is this environment encouraging? Is this environment breathing life into you? What does that even mean? Like I was like, I kept hearing these things and I was like, what does that mean to breathe life into me? And I had to learn that breathing life into me came with like super painful things, because I started realizing that, my gosh, I have zero positive uplifting thoughts in my brain. Nothing. There was nothing there because I never had anybody speaking nice to me. And you have those you have these moments where this is the roller coaster I'm talking about, right? You have these moments where you get encouraged and motivated, and you're in a training and they are saying, yeah, let's speak life into you, and you start going up and you say, yes, I want someone to speak life into me. And then you're up there, and then out of the sudden you come crashing down because that Zoom call is over and that motivation is gone. And you start realizing there's nothing left for you. There's nothing there because you are not able to generate that yourself. See, and that's where the healing part is coming in. This is where walking it free comes in, is you got to learn how to do these things for yourself. Okay? Because in the end, as you level up, there's not going to be somebody that holds your hand all the time. There's not going to be somebody that says, oh, I can do this for you, or you should do this, or copy paste here, here's your script, blah, 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 blah. None of that. You're going to have to learn how to do this yourself. You're going to have to become a leader of self. That means you also got to learn how to motivate yourself. You got to learn how to have the stuff, like generate the energy, generate it yourself. Okay. And if you do not heal some of the pain, some of the hurt, some of the things that you've been dealing with in the past that are your foundation, your foundational skills that you need to have to be able to even do what you are thinking you are going to do. What is going on? Why am I'm not, oh, my screen's up back. Now I'm back. So these are the things that you've got to learn, right? And somehow when you start an online business, they all say, oh, it's so easy, right? And then you find yourself not taking action. Am I right? Drop it in the comments right now. Are you a procrastinator? Are you feeling you're overwhelmed? Do you feel like you don't know what to do? Like, seriously, hi, Anne, good to see you. Do you know what you need to do? Often we don't. And you know what? This is why, because you are actually in the dark room. You are actually sitting there not really knowing what's going on because you're not healed with your foundation, right? Your skill set is secondary to your mindset. You've got to have that foundation first. You will never even retain. I mean, they can teach you about AI, they can teach you about branding, they can teach you about social media strategies. And yes, of course, we all gonna want the shiny, the quick fix, oh, I think my Instagram followers are not super great. Why? Okay, my Instagram followers are not great because I know, I can tell you exactly why. It's because I'm an introverted person that does not find pleasure in scrolling the net and engaging with people. I had to learn and work it on being very aware of what my audience should be. Who am I even talking to? See, how can you come up with an audience if you are not clear what your message is? See, this is where we all have it backwards, right? We all have it backwards. We jump into these big, hairy visions. We are running in and we are wanting to do all these big things. We want to be a millionaire and we want to make six-figure incomes. And all of that sounds so attractive, right? Sounds so great. And it would solve so many problems for you if I could snap a finger and overnight I would have six figures that I can. Guess what? If you are not the person that can handle six figures, what's going to happen? You're going to lose those six figures faster than you have even earned it because they're going to be gone. And you can tell that based on your credit card statements. If you haven't learned how to master your money, you are going to spend the money before it's going out. What makes you master your money? It's called self-discipline. It's called being aware. It's called understanding and having clarity about what it is that you're even needing to do, what it is you even wanting to do, where you want to go with your life, how you are about to do these things. None of that is being talked about. None of that is clear to people in any of the trainings that you see. You see snippets of social media strategy, grow here, do that, yada, 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 yada. But this is all puzzle pieces. People are giving you puzzle pieces left and right, and no one is going to put and teach you how to put these puzzle pieces together and figure out where you are right now. Why? Because it's hard. Everyone is so different and everyone is so unique and everyone has different life circumstances. And see, for the longest time, I thought to myself, what is my mission? What is my vision? What is my gift that I've got to the world? And I was thinking and I was praying on it and I was reflecting, and as I was working my brand, as I was working my voice, as I was working, what am I wanting to share with people? What is my mission? And it's messy, you guys. You have to learn how to be okay with the uncomfortable. It is messy because you level up and then you have brain fog again and you lose your vision and it's messy. Okay. However, I started reflecting and I started realizing, wait a minute. I have been given all these obstacles my entire life to hone the skills that are needed right now. Look at what's going on in the world. Look at what's happening all over the place. There is so much content. There is so much AI. There's so much you don't even know anymore what's real. You cannot even tell anymore what is real online anymore. You don't know. Is this an actual video? Is it an AI generated video? You know how scary this can be for people that are not grounded, that do not have an anchor, that do not have a solid foundation of values, of a vision, of a compass, of a true North Star. Do you know how hard it is to run around? And you see all these kids right now that are running around without boundaries. It's so scary. This is why you have anxiety. You have anxiety not because there's something wrong with you. You have anxiety because you do not have a North Star. Okay. And this is what Walking It Free is. It's not just business training. This is identifying where exactly are you and giving you belief, because everything starts with belief, giving you belief, teaching you how to find your worth, because I can tell you all day until I'm green in the face that you are worth it. I can tell you until, the cows come home that you are worth it. If you do not believe it inside of you, you're never going to take the action. You're never going to do it, because somehow your thoughts are continuing to tell you that you are not worth it. And you are going to from the thoughts that you're thinking, you're going to have a feeling, and you're going to feel defeated, and you're going to feel sad, and from that feeling, you are choosing actions. And from those actions, you are actually then having the results, which funny thing, because those results then will prove to you your original thoughts. And that is a cycle over and over and over and over again that everyone finds themselves in. Okay. And you're taking it as proof, but it's not proof. It's a lie, because you can change your life by thinking different thoughts. Well, how are you going to think different thoughts? How? Well, that's what I'm teaching too. You teach people to find and seek out what they want. Well, how do you know what you want? You're going to have to do some thinking on that. What do I even want? That was part of the next journey. So when my mom had died, I sat there and I felt so lost, because my whole life purpose was to please her. I remember that as my kids were growing up, I mean, the extent of energy I put forth to position my little kids all the time. I grew up in Germany. My family was in Germany, and I'm in the US, and my kids were in the US. So I had to constantly try to hustle everybody to the camera, showing the grandkids. I mean, insanity, right? Some people would probably not do this. I did this over and over and over because I wanted her to see her grandkids. I felt bad for her not seeing and holding her grandkids. And I can still cry about it. I went through so much effort trying to please her, because that's what I thought my purpose was. I thought that is what I was supposed to do. I thought that is what it was. And when she was gone, I started realizing, like, wait a minute, big hole here, right? Wait a minute, what did I want? And all these years, I never thought about what I wanted. And so that was time. That was my cue. That was I needed to figure out, what do I want? And then, of course, and if you've dealt with narcissism, if you've dealt with toxic environments, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You may see your vision that you need an online business to make the financial pain go away. But when you do that, you're also getting the whiplash of, you're selfish. You are, why do you do this now? You're a scammer. Look at who the hell do you think you are? So the fear of rejection, the fear of more abandonment than you have already had, the fear of not knowing your skills, being an imposter, the self-doubt that comes with it. See, they don't teach you that in the social media classes. They don't teach you any of that. But this is what is important. Okay. By the way, if you watch this on a replay, please let me know that you watched it. Let's say #replay. So those things, those are happening. The backlash, the imposter, the doubt, all of that is what's happening. And it's really, really important that when you are embarking on this journey, that you start recognizing and realizing these these obstacles are just thoughts. So when I realized the environment that I had been in, the environment that I was coming across with, right? And I started realizing that I never even cared for me. I didn't. And actually, I just got reminded. Okay, I just got reminded. Timo is on here live right now, right? Hi, Timo. And I have to tell the story because he's actually an old boyfriend of mine, and so he was the love of my life. Just saying. But so here's the thing. What happened back then, we broke up because I remember that there was a time that I stopped crying and being emotional. I did not show any emotions anymore. I remember that very vividly because, see, I was told growing up all the time that, you are just a crybaby and why are you emotional again? Well, all these negative thoughts that I've been told about my sensitivity, because that's really who I was. I was a very sensitive and tuned empath, but it was not accepted in my family upbringing. So at that time, I decided I'm just not going to show any emotions anymore. I'm not going to feel anything. I cut that part off of me. And what happened, it cost me my relationship back then, right? It cost me many relationships, probably. It cost me a bunch of hate from people, or it got me a bunch of hate from people and my bosses and my coworkers. People would in my life would assume I'm one way, when in fact this was just a protection mechanism to protect that vulnerable piece and part of me that I had shut off due to rejection. Now, when you do not heal these things, when you are not aware of them, when you're not thinking about those pieces that had happened to you, those are all stored in your brain in a paradigm. Those are all stored there. When you do not bring them back out and kind of look at it and just see, wait a minute, and understand that they were wrong. I wasn't wrong. I was not wrong with being intuitive and an empath and spiritual and sensitive. I was not wrong. They were wrong. But as a kid, and when you don't revisit that, when you don't heal that part, you can continue living your life, losing out on your life because they had a stupid opinion about you. See the risk? I want you to feel just how important it is to do your own personal development journey, how to learn, how to reflect and look and see and do this for yourself. And I tell you, no therapist is going to be able to do that for you. You're going to have to do that journey yourself. You're going to have to be able to look at what is going on here for myself. Why? And you might think now, how am I supposed to do that, right? How am I supposed to unravel years and years and years? Well, I'll tell you, one small step at a time. One small step at a time, because that's what I did. I started taking a step. I started noticing thoughts. I started noticing feelings, and I then reflected on the thoughts and the feelings. And because I know a thought creates a feeling creates a action, and the action creates the results, I started unraveling it that way, one area of my life at a time. And I started realizing other people were wrong, and I started realizing that I needed to change my environment, and I started to take a look at the people that I had in my circle, and I started realizing like some of them are not very nice. So I had to let go of some people, and that came with fear, because then I was like, oh my gosh, if I'm going to let go of people. And I was talking about my mom, and I kind of lost that train of thought there for a second. But the extent that I had gone through to please her with the kids, when she was gone, I started realizing, wait a minute, what do I want? And I started rebuilding, and I started becoming aware, and I started continuing to take steps. And then you have people that out of a sudden don't like when your light is coming out, and they start being upset with you, and you need to sit down again and start reevaluating and saying like, wait, I've done this and this now. Where else am I going to go? What else is my next step? How am I going to continue, right? And so step by step, month by month, day by day, week by week, this is how you unravel it. And here's why this is a necessity. You can build a big business. Let's say, okay, you are going to have million followers out of the sudden. It comes with an entire backlash of negativity. It's going to come with an entire backlash of pressure, because people are going to expect things from you. See, if you are wanting this big team, right? You're in network marketing, you want to be a diamond, you want to be that big person, that you want to have that big team. Well, guess what? All these people are going to want something from you. If your habits and your life is not up to par, if you can't deliver the outcome that you are promising to people, do you think you're going to be successful? You would not. You will turn around. Like if you buy something and you start realizing this person is not giving me what I wanted, you're going to quit. You're going to cancel. You're going to get out, right? That same thing is going to happen. If you cannot be the one that does what you say and say what you do, if you can't be authentic in your truth, if you can't deal with rejection, if you are fearful of being left alone, of somebody canceling, if you are not true, authentic yourself, you are not going to build the business that you want. Okay? That's just what it is. So that is your real obstacle, you guys, right? This is the real obstacle. You have to be able to heal this. Now, if you realize now, you see maybe my Black Friday special, right? For short term only. This is for my year-long mentorship program. I have once a year, I have a few spots open that I commit to, and they are my first priority. They're the people that pay me a little bit more money than the $27. It's not a ton of money. It's still very affordable because I want to make sure it's affordable at this point. And I want to help so many more people. And I know that the healing that I had to go through, the healing, the steps, this is not something that happens in one course, in one workshop, in one evening, in one session. This is not something that is going to happen. And I also know that you are not going to be able to do it by yourself if you are wrapped up and if you're not having the skill set that I had, maybe, right? I also didn't do it by myself, just so you know. I had a lot of mentors over the years that helped me, that worked with me, that showed me, that did things, and that sparked my curiosity. But there were also moments that I was alone and having to continue to do and work myself and dig myself out of it. And I truly believe that all the trauma that I've gone and witnessed in my past has given me the experience to survive, because that's really what it is, survive as somebody that is alone, because that was who I was. I was alone all the time. I was alone all the time. And I just needed to learn the confidence and believe in myself again, and believe in my skills, and then believe in my truth, right? And that's when my travels started, you guys. When I started traveling, people were like, "Oh, look at her. She's just having a good time." No, I wasn't just going to have a good time. I was on a quest. I was on a quest to try to figure out, can I live this life by myself? Because at that time, I mean, gosh, I've been in separation for 5 years now. At that time, I was terrified of being alone. I knew my marriage was breaking. I knew it wasn't what I needed. I knew it was awful. I mean, not all parts, please, if any of my family is watching that, no, not all parts were awful, but it wasn't not for me and not for him. It wasn't beneficial for neither of us, right? So it was just not that thing. So having said that, I feel like we should have never got married. I feel like we bonded on a trauma bond, both sides. I needed him and he needed me somehow, and I think that was bonded. And once we healed, I healed, realized that, oh, wait a minute, hang on a second, this what? Why was I even like? Because when you look at and maybe you are in a relationship where it's similar for you, when you start looking at who you are at your core, I am somebody that is adventurous. I am somebody that is that wants to try new things. I'm somebody that is active. I'm somebody that gets excited, right, very fast and very easily. And I can barely sit still. I'm always doing something. And that's just, I have a lot of drive. That's just who I am. And then when you see that the opposite is doing something completely opposite, you're like, how did we even test compatible together? I don't know. Some of us, probably me, had mirrored and adjusted, because that was my survival mechanism. I probably had adjusted to him, in all fairness, right? And I have tried to please him, to do all the things to gain, maybe, I have no idea, acceptance or approval or something. So having said that, my travels needed to be, how am I able to live on my own? Can I do it? Can I not do it? And I had to travel to truly tell myself, wait a minute, you can create a home anywhere. You have done this before. You can create a home anywhere. And that is exactly what I did. I traveled and traveled and traveled for that purpose. And I tell you, there were so many times where I was so scared. I was just me and my kids. I was so scared, and I was in a state I never even knew. And and I had to keep going into these opportunities of growth. That's exactly what it was. My last was my Upper Peninsula trip again. I did it for the second time around Lake Michigan, because I recognized that the first time I was up in the UP, it was so isolated there. I was so lonely there. I was so scared up there. I thought to myself, like, wait a minute, what? And I started realizing that that was an area of growth for me. So I had to go back there a second time to see if my feeling was still the same, if my thoughts, if I could replace my thoughts, if my thoughts then would have a different feeling, and it sure did. I mean, I'm still recognizing that I do not love being isolated. I still recognize that I like people around me somehow. I do not like therapy. I am an introvert, but I find people comforting, okay? So being aware of these things has really helped me gain confidence. So clarity is number one, then confidence is the number one, and the mindset mastery is the third section where you need to excel at, right? You need to excel in this, because when you master your mindset, when you can control your thoughts, what's going to happen? You can actually create your outcomes. And that is what you want. This is where your foundation is going to get so solid that you can build that huge house. Once you're healed, once you cannot be triggered anymore, once you become unoffendable, okay, it doesn't matter anymore if somebody gives you hate online, because you're going to just shut it off and say, that's it, thank you, bye. Or good to see you. Exciting that you show me your mindset up front. Okay, because one other thing I have learned is that people that are better than you never leave you hate comments. People that are better than you, they give you a hand and say, come on, I can show you the way. Okay, that's it. And all the other internet trolls, go have a good life, right? It doesn't offend me anymore. It doesn't matter to me. It really doesn't. It does not, because they mean nothing to me. Once you recognize, and here's scarcity, okay? If you're dealing with scarcity thoughts, like there's not enough money, there's not enough people, there is so many people in the world. If you are allowing yourself to open up your abundance mindset, and you start recognizing that you could just move. I mean, I live in Chicago, right? I could just move over to the next suburb, and I would never run into the same people ever again. There's so many people in the world. There's my cue, right? I gotta go. But there is so many people in the world that you can actually, you can actually, like, do whatever you need to do. And in the end, right, we are worried about what strangers online are going to think and say about us. It's all about taking steps towards a life that you won't regret, because when you die, and I'm going to be very bluntly honest with you, when you die, who is going to be at your funeral? How many people are going to mourn you? They're going to forget about you like a month later. Look at Charlie Kirk. People were all over the place, all this and that. Watch this in a year and nobody's going to talk about this anymore, right? Unfortunately, it's probably the case, because people are going to forget. They're moving on to the next big thing. And he's a big person that is very popular, and with some people hate him. Like, he's very public, right? All this stuff, people talk about it. You, on the other hand, do people even know you live? Right? Who knows that you live? And see, then you are coming to the point of, do you matter? You should matter to the people in your circle. And this is where my real vision comes in for Walk It Free. What I would love to do, my biggest vision for this movement, and I know I'm in the beginning stages of this, but my biggest vision for this movement is to create people that are walk it free driven, and they can then create their small little circle around them, and then they can create the small circle around them, and this is how you build legacy. This is how you build legacy. The paradigm, right, the toxic paradigm of so many people is that we are subconsciously carrying on what we've been taught, and no one teaches how to create and be the master of your own destiny. No one teaches that. Okay, unless you're born in a situation and born in a family that happens to have personal growth in their family, or you happen to be somebody in so much pain that you want to do different and you're seeking out your mentors, no one teaches that. And I want to teach the average person that just decides to go and tries to do a little bit better for themselves, the ambitious woman that is trying to do better for themselves. I want to teach you how to heal yourself, how to connect with your truth that has been given to you by God, and how to use that to impact the people right around you. And I want to teach you the discipline and the inner responsibility to take the steps necessary to put your vision into life. That is what I want to do. And with that, I got to go make some pancakes. I'm going to unplug for this weekend, and I shall all see you on Monday.